Now we will continue to our next guest speaker, who is from Pakistan. We welcome Professor Dr. Mohammed Safdar Bahati to give a speech. Welcome, Professor. Sorry we kept you waiting a little bit.
Thank you very much, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you and see you, Professor. There's no problem right now.
Okay, okay. Just I'm going to share my screen. Wait a bit. Is my screen visible to you?
Yeah, now it is visible, sir. You can go ahead and start.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and a very, very good morning to everyone. This is Dr. Muhammad Sabdarbati from the Islamic University of Bahawalpur, Pakistan. First of all, I would like to thank the ORP organization for having me over here at this forum in their multiple conferences. And really now I feel myself that Turkey is my second home. So the topic of my today's talk is exploring the role of literature in ESL classroom, a survey, and that is a brief sketch of my talk. Dear audience, language is a means of conveying ideas, facts, figures, particulars, solicitudes, compassion, and love from one individual to other. Although it is roughly calculated that bisection of sphere's inhabitant is multilingual, the cession of additional languages has been associated with cognitive benefits in all respects of lifespan. These days, English language is contemplated as in, indispensable as it is frequently manipulated throughout the sphere as a measure of communication. A good grasp of English to higher standards andragogy is to gain better professional slots and a well-respected status in society. Teachers are perhaps the most critical component of any system of education. How well they teach depends on motivation, qualification, experience, training, aptitude, and the environment. The stimulus for the present study drives from the view that teaching of language should be taught by using literary pieces and should move away from a teacher-centered approach towards a student-centered one. Traditionally, literature is defined as the best writing produced in a given language or society, which is considered as a literary canon for all time. This normally includes classical writers belonging to the past and often excludes contemporary writing. However, in the postmodern deconstructionist age, the definition of literature took on a new shape to include text such as advertising copy, graffiti, and public notices, which use literary devices like parallelism, rhyme, rhythm, and metaphor. It is a resource of news and it gives rise to communication and bridges two languages strongly. Literature expands language awareness, asking learners to examine sophisticated or non-standard examples of language makes them more aware of the norms of language use. Having students read literature aloud contributes to developing speaking as well as listening ability. Moreover, it also leads to improving pronunciation. Pronunciation may be the focus before, during, and after reading. Needless to say, literature-based dramatic activities are valuable for ESL learner as it educates the whole person. It helps language teachers to foster their own cultural, linguistic, and interpretive skills. It involves students to overcome negative attitudes towards the target culture. It introduces writing into the language classroom. Basically, literary texts offer a rich source of linguistic input and can help learners to practice the four language skills: speaking, listening, reading, and writing, in addition to exemplifying grammatical structure and presenting new vocabulary. A good education is one which gives a strong academic base, self-confidence, a keen sense of responsibility, a polished attitude and behavior, and encouragement to think freely and cherish the adversity. Most educators in Pakistan believe that literature can help develop all these faculties in a student in addition to developing their overall language competence. These are some uses of literature. First one is the uh, cogitation, reasoning, and creative thinking. There are some effective strategies which can be used to teach the literature. Language-based approach, paraphrastic approach, it can be personal response approach and moral philosophical approach. Then information-based approach, it can be stylistic approach. If we talk about the significance of the study, dear all, this study has great significance for the teachers of literature to enhance the teaching competency through activity-based teaching of second language. It will also make the students' participation active and create the interest of the students. This study will make both teachers and students active to learn the target language. The objectives of my study were to investigate the worth of literature-based activities, to enhance learners' competency in learning second language with ease, to examine the teacher's position and students' position as participants in ESL classes, to estimate whether ESL learners are given active roles by the teachers or not, and to examine whether teachers are trained for holding literature-based activities in ESL classrooms for learning outcomes of the language. My research questions were, why do the teachers not evaluate their students on literature-based activities? What do their students not uh, get competency in second language? How will literature be effective to get competency in target language? And how can second language proficiency be attained through literature teaching? My literature review is that Holland said, referring specifically the teaching of English as a second language in South Africa, argues for the inclusion of literature on psychological and linguistic grounds. Povey is also an advocate, although he argues that literature should be taught for its own sake, with its use as a resource for language exercises and cultural knowledge are byproduct only. If we talk about the research methodology, that was survey-based research, and the approach was quantitative and random sampling was done. 50 teachers and 100 students from the Islamic University of Bahawalpur, Pakistan participated in this study. A questionnaire for the teachers and a separate questionnaire for the students were used as a tool to collect the data from the respondents. And these are some factors which are deduced from the collected data. Reading habits, 80% agreed, understanding 70% agreed, confidence increase 90% agreed, drawing meanings 30% agreed. And that is the graphic description of my talk. Now, before leaving, I would like to give you some suggestions and recommendations. Dear all, literature learning environment is most effective for learning English for all aspects of language. Literature has showed positive results for the enhancements of reading skills of ESL learners at university level. Time may be increased for reading literary texts. The students should be encouraged to participate in reading activities. Medium of instruction should be in English so that they may practice the reading skills in their everyday life situations. Parents and teachers' role towards the use of literature is significant. Reading training courses may be arranged for improving reading habits of the student, and there ought to be sufficient daily time to quicken reading tendencies. These were some references from which I got the help, and thanks for joining me. And any questions, please. That's all, my dear sir, from my side.
Okay, thank you so much, Professor. Is there any questions or any contributions from our participants?
So next up, you, sir.
Of course. Thank you. There is no questions for now, sir. Thank you again for your presentation. Thanks so much.
So nice of you. Thank you.
Have a wonderful day, sir. Evet, sıradaki konuşmacımız